baby puffs. Okay, Cece. That's funny. Hello everybody. How y'all doing today? Today's stream is gonna be something a little unusual. A little, how do I say, like, a little unexpected. You know, normally I know I said last week, I would probably be playing a game today, but I woke up today and it's like, I don't feel like playing a game today, but I still feel like streaming something. You know, and it's like, I wasn't quite in the mood for reading anything either. No, my mood was for the movies. I wanted to watch a movie, along with y'all if I could get away with it. Fortunately, I have amassed a small collection of sorts, just on YouTube, a number of old, cheesy, black and white, public domain movies, one of which we will be watching today. There's going to be wasps, there's going to be a woman, and there's going to be a wasp woman. Our movie tonight is Wasp Woman. So I hope you come by with snacks and drinks. We're just gonna sit by and see how nuts this movie can get. Right off the bat, I can't imagine that, you know, this movie, given the title and the obvious content, that it will be friendly to people who hate bugs. So if you are a person, a lily pal, who can't stand bugs, you might wanna back down at this one. Otherwise, like, it's a movie from 1959. Like, I can't imagine it's actually going to be, like, scary. You never know, though. Some of those practical effects, like, can go in all manner of directions. Let's see. Also, two other things. I'm obviously going to have the movie from YouTube in full screen, but due to the nature of full screen, that means I won't always immediately be able to see chat. So if y'all decide to say anything, like decide to comment about stuff about the movie, I won't be able to see it right away. You know, so be patient with me, please. Be patiente. Patience. Second, I know I have closed captions for my own stream, you know, enabled and disabled at your own discretion, but there are no such closed captions for this instance of the movie, so I apologize. No matter though. I'm thinking that, how long is this movie? Okay, it's not terribly long. It's about a quarter after an hour. So this stream actually might be a bit shorter than usual fare, but I think it'll work out. And a few fun things one fun thing I want to bring up So for my own snacks and drinks, I have a couple of, you know, peanut butter sandwiches and a glass of water, because right now my house doesn't really have much. But I decided, you know, just to make sure there's at least like a little bit more content, I guess you could say. I have taken out a single instance, a single plastic wrapped instance of my Bean Boozled jelly beans, because I'm still working on a playlist for funny haha videos for my You Laugh You Lose stream, whenever that will be. You know, but I figure now would actually be a pretty good time to at least, like, get an idea of what I'm working with. So I've opened up a single pack of these jelly beans. And for those who don't know Bean Boozled, basically each jelly bean has a 50-50 chance of being, you know, like tasting good or tasting downright horrific. And so I'm going to subject myself to that after I eat my sandwiches. So there might be points where I pause the movie and I'm like, ugh, bleh. I ate a bad one. You know, so look forward to that. The things I do for you, Lily Pals, I hope you are grateful for my sacrifices. It's only gonna be one package, so there's only 8 jelly beans. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure that the nature of this stream will be fine. Like, I don't foresee any particular problems. I know this movie is public domain 100%, you know, so it's not like I'll be like infringing copyright or anything. But at the same time, this stream will be performative. Well, no, that's not the word. Transformative. You know, because part of TOS is like, I can do this, but you know, it has to be transformative in nature. For instance, I'm going to have my model in the corner, visually on screen at all times, and I'm going to be commenting over the movie at least if I can come up with any actually meaningful commentary. Like, I haven't seen this movie before. I'm going in blind, other than, like, obviously there's a wasp woman, there's bugs, and yeah, it's like, it's gonna be a product of its time, you know, so if there's anything, like, particularly problematic, whoops. It kind of just comes with the territory. But no matter, we're here to have fun. We're here to have fun. I got my Sammys, I got my Wawa, I got my Boozle beans, and I think we are ready to start. Once again, this movie will be in full screen from my POV, so, you know, reception to chat will probably be on the slower end. Other than that, sit tight, Lily Pals. Come and enjoy this movie with me. Yeah? Alright. Starting movie, The Wasp Woman, in 3, 2, 1. And let me know how volume is. I don't know any of these names. Why does Carolyn Hughes and Frank Wolf sound vaguely familiar, though? They're actors, I assume. Unless I missed, like, if they were writers or anything. Roger Corman. I vaguely know that name. Engaging in my first Sammy. How? The only thing I can think when I see this guy's like beekeeper's suit is like, wow, it hasn't really changed much. I know that seems like pretty obvious, but like,
Now, don't get nasty, my little friend. Your puppy is not going to hurt you one bit. Just relax and sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep. And in the
sheep?
morning, you'll find yourselves in your new home. Ain't my pitch?
If he really wanted the bees to understand him, he should have done a little jig. Maybe just do like a little Charleston in place. So I know that honeybees won't actually sting you if... I can't remember if like it's particularly referred to as swarming, but it's something like it.
Morning, Doc. What you got there?
But it's like I'm worried about that guy not wearing gloves.
What? Better be careful, they can sting a man to death.
Don't worry, we understand each other. They know who their friend is. They can tell.
Yeah, but they know when you ain't, too.
You knew about what I know. Have no fear of them, my boy. No fear.
I don't buy that for a second. Wasps are evil.
Hey, you! Give us a hand here!
Hello there, Mr. Parker. Well, surprised to see you out here in the field, sir. Now, how are things running at the front office?
Smooth as honey, Renfro. I see here you turned in over 1,000 pounds of orange blossom honey and 400 of beeswax last month, Renfro. Congratulations. You've made the top of the list again.
Thank you, sir.
Holiday honey needs your kind of man, Renfro. You stay with it, I can see a bright future for you in the company.
Well, I do try to do my best, Mr. Parker.
I try to take my inspiration from the bees. Always busy. Yes. What about this fellow, Dr. Zinfeld?
Pinto? Boy, there's a nut. Him and his bees. You know, it wouldn't surprise me someday to see him flapping his arms, taking off after some queen bee with the rest of the drone.
He's paid to do research on royal jelly. Haven't had a progress report from him in a month.
Now, he has a little workshop up there back at the orange grove. He's calling it.
Suppose I'd better go up there and take a look. Hey, you! Where's this fellow Zinfeld? Oh, he's up where the extractor is, up there.
Hey! This isn't a honeybee. This is a wasp.
What? Who's responsible for this?
Most likely Dr. Zinfeld, sir. I told you he was a crackpot.
Zinfeld, huh? Zinfeld. Winthrop! Winthrop!
Vince drops? Like cough drops?
Now look here, Winthrop, what's all this nonsense about what?
I'm so glad you dropped in, Mr. Barker. Mr. Barker, I'm on the verge of...
At first I thought he said Mr. Vodka.
Walter, I almost perfected a new method of extracting royal jelly from the queen wasp.
According to my figures, you're better at extracting funds from the company. Now look here, Winthrop, over $1,000 last month for miscellaneous.
Yes, I know. But Mr. Barker, let me just show you something. Just let me show you.
I'm never gonna unhear it.
Already I've learned to slow the process of aging. Soon, I shall be able to reverse it entirely.
What are you getting at, Winthrop?
Look, what do you see?
See a big dog and a little dog.
Let's say an old dog and a young dog.
All right, so what?
Well, they're exactly the same age. You see, the little one, Greta, has been given regular injections of my compound from the queen wasp.
Just like I told you, Mr. Barker.
Look here, Winthrop. I understand about science and progress and all that, but you were retained to extract queen bee royal jelly. Now, it's a health food, a cosmetic. It's not a miracle drug or an elixir of youth. That sort of thing is impossible.
Oh, but Mr. Parker...
Winthrop, I'm sorry, Winthrop, but I'm gonna have to let you go. You just don't seem to be one of the team. You understand. Good luck. I'm sure you'll fit in somewhere.
Fit in. Somewhere. Oh, no, don't worry, my friend. We shall find a home somehow, somewhere. Oh, but you sound impatient. I know. It's your babies, huh? They're hungry and they must be fed. Now, how would you like a nice, juicy little caterpillar, huh? You'd like that, wouldn't you? There. Now, you must eat them. Be strong because, well...
What is he looking
a lot of
at?
work to do together.
I'm trying to, like,
A lot of work.
I'm trying to correlate where his eyes were looking. He wasn't looking at the box. It didn't look like there was a tube or anything. Like some sort of jar.
As you can see, gentlemen, sales for the last fiscal quarter have dropped 14.5%. There's not been a corresponding drop in our competitors. Trust one of you gentlemen has a satisfactory explanation for this decline. Not one little suggestion. We'll start with you, Thompson. As public relations manager, no doubt you have some faint glimmering of what's happening to Stalin Park. Thompson.
But you see, I
had no idea you were such an excellent public speaker, Thompson.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Darling. I guess I'm not feeling very well this morning.
Oh, yes.
I think I can tell you why Starlin products are falling off so badly, Miss Starlin.
Here, Mr. Delaney. Where would you put the responsibility for this decline?
On you, Miss Starlin.
Ouch.
I imagine argument.
We've all been looking at it for the past 20 minutes. The most convincing argument is right on that graph. May I show you? Now, right here in April is when Starlin sales started falling off.
Very clever of you, Lane.
Would you mind waiting until I finish, Miss Starlin?
That's enough, Lane.
Relax. My apologies for the interruption.
Thank you. Now, as I said, sales began to fall in April, but the reason for the fall was back here in February. The Starlin products have always been thought of as something of a modern miracle in the cosmetics trade. The firm built to a multi-million-dollar-a-year business on the strength and appeal of one person, Janice Starlin. From the beginning, right through until February of this year, only one woman's face was used to advertise those products. Your face, Miss Starlin. The public has come to accept you as a symbol. Now, after 16 years, they see a different face. They don't trust it. They feel cheated. The simple fact is that Starlin Cosmetics should have Janice Starlin's picture advertising them. Well, that's about all I've got to say.
A darn good job of saying it, sir. I agree. Lane makes a lot of sense on that score, Miss Starlin.
I think I've had enough flattery for one once. Very convincing argument. Only one small factor is overlooked. Not even Janet Starlin. She's only glamour girl, rather. Starlin? Yes. Mr. Vincent for the reception. He has the point. It's been a very informative. See you all for now. Oh, Arthur,
Yes?
I'd like to see you in my office.
Sure, Take it easy, Hot Shot.
Oh boy, I saw his posture.
You've done some work on royal jelly, haven't you?
A little.
Are there any What do you mean?
Just that no two people reacted precisely the same way. One man's meat's another man's poison.
But you think royal jelly can be beneficial. Some people.
Queen Bee said a lot of so about it.
I'll accept that as an affirmative answer. Supposing a more powerful form of royal jelly could be obtained. From the queen wasp, for example. I mean, would you suppose that might have some rejuvenating effect on a human being?
Stay away from wasps if I were you, Miss Dalton. Socially, the queen wasp is on level with a black widow spider. They're both carnivorous. They paralyze their victims and then take their time devouring them alive. But they kill their mates in the same way, too.
Why does he know this?
Exactly interested in the love life of the queen wasp.
I suppose, like, it's,
I want
you know, part of the branding and, like, product manufacturing and everything, but it's like,
If you want an honest opinion, Miss Dalton,
Of course I want an honest.
my advice is forget about it.
Thank you.
Anytime, Miss Dalton.
Have this interest come in. You can go in out there.
Oh, about time.
Janice, darling, is surprised.
Miss Darling?
Yes. How do you do? I'm afraid I won't be able to give you much time, Mr. Kennedy.
But it is I who give you the time, Miss Darling. Oh, yes. Plenty of time I give you. 10, maybe 15 years I give you.
I want you to understand one thing very clearly, Mr. Kennedy. I expect absolute proof of what you claimed in your letter. Tangible proof, not words.
Such proof you shall get, madame, and more. But I think I better show you in the laboratory, yes?
All right.
Look,
They look terrible. Why don't you put them out of their misery?
madame, you asked for proof. Please be kind enough to look at proof you asked for. May I proceed? Thank you.
eek.
In a few minutes, madame, you shall see a miracle you shall not believe. Oh, no tricks. You may look if you like. I have no tricks. Well, don't look at me. I'm not changing.
No. No.
Don't believe it. Not possible.
No. No, 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 no.
I see you do not believe one animal, so I bring two. I show you again, yes?
Yes, I must be sure.
Yeah, no. The idea was reversing aging, not changing species. Oh, it's so obvious. I love it.
Well, Miss Darling, with my secret of interest for you, yes?
What are your terms, Mr. Benson?
First, I must have a laboratory equipped with everything I need for my research. If we're successful, well, I ask for a little percentage. But I must give full credit to my discovery that is most important to me.
I'll have Gordon draw up the contract.
Oh, contracts, I do not need to give you your word. Good enough for me.
You amaze me. Frankly, when I received your letter, I thought you were just another eccentric. There was always a chance you might not be. Then you walk in here and show me nothing short of a miracle. 2 miracles. And you say that you'll accept my word that I won't cheat you.
You won't. I know you're a good woman, even if you do not like other people to know it. However, my formula may not be good for human beings that have not tasted yet.
You will on me.
Oh, no. Might be danger.
Those are my terms, Mr. Singer. Janice Starling will be your next booth.
Though it may take a little time to prepare sufficient extract. A week, maybe more.
I'll make whatever arrangements you may need for your life.
Thanks for that. Now I see how you built all this.
I'm very close to losing it, Mr. Zinsser. Maybe working together we can save Janice Starling Enterprise. Maybe even make it bigger than ever before. I'm sure the next 3 months will see a rise in Starlin sales that will surpass anything we've dared imagine. Mr. Zinsser is working on the final stages of a development that will revolutionize the cosmetic industry. He's to have a free hand in his experiments and will be answerable to no one but myself. At the moment, I cannot divulge the nature of Mr. Zinsser's experiments. I can assure you it will bring worldwide recognition to Janice Starlin Enterprise.
Ooh, science montage. Biting into smoking apparatuses. Bees! Rats!
I don't know. This Winthrop must be the granddaddy of all confidence men to taking a gal like Starlin. Why doesn't somebody wise her up?
Like you, for instance? Still, what makes you think Winthrop really isn't on the level? After all, we don't even know what he's working on. It could be very legitimate.
Or as bad as she is. Oh, women.
Men. Every time you're stuck to an answer,
Cisheads.
not getting out of this one so easily. I'd like to know why you think Winthrop really hasn't got something.
Well, you can call it male intuition if you like. Just there's something about this whole business that doesn't smell right. A private laboratory, a secret experiment. Winthrop himself. The only thing that's missing
That's not
is a
intuition, that's just critical thinking.
You better leave the intuition to me. I'll let you buy me dinner.
Buy you dinner. What's happened to your sporting blood? I thought we were going to toss for the check.
Oh, no. You won the last 3 times.
All right, look, I'll make a deal with you. Dinner is on me if you promise to keep an eye on what goes on in there.
What do you want me to do? Read her mail and send her messages and keep her code?
You could do worse.
No, Mr. Cooper, not you, too.
I've been trying to tell Bright Eyes here that I think Winthrop is a phony and a confidence man.
If I were sure of that, I wouldn't be worried.
From a certain
I
angle,
think he's a
the,
lot more dangerous. A quack.
Well, I don't
the guy on the right sometimes reminds me of
Confident
Alec
managers
Baldwin.
interested in your money. The only damage they can do is to your pocketbook.
So I said to him, I said, listen, Ivy, I'm getting sick of this TV every night. I mean, you know, we can do the same thing in a nightclub. Well, almost. Good morning, Janice Starlin Enterprise. I got 2 words for you. Drop dead. Twice.
Irving,
Calls me to tell me Dr. Cyclops is on Channel 9 tonight. Right. You've seen it twice already.
Good morning. Is Miss Darling in her office now?
Miss Starlin's in conference. Would you like to speak to her secretary?
Oh, no. Just say to Miss Darling I should like to see her when she has time, huh?
Yes. Was there something else, Mr. Vincent?
No. Good night.
Oh, brother.
What a character. A regular two-eyed Dr. Cyclops.
Even the bow.
Morning. May I see Miss Darling, please? He's a real weirdie. Wonder what his game is.
Who cares?
You know, Morton thinks he's a crackpot. I heard him telling Cooper so. Old Bug-Eyes really has the execs worried.
So what?
That's just it. They don't know.
So anyway, back to Irving.
Anyway, back to
Good morning, Miss Darling. Good morning.
Good morning. I couldn't get away any sooner. Is it
In the spirit of science, I shall engage in the first jelly bean.
Do you remember the big cat I showed you last week? No?
What about it?
Well, I want you to look at it. Come.
What is this flavor?
Quite a difference, yes?
Incredible. Say more.
What does it say on the tin?
You're young again. And you realize what that means? You're a kitten again. A whole lot to live over. How does it feel?
I think perhaps you'll be able to find out for yourself, Miss Darling. Today will be your first injection.
Yeah, it's all fun and games with a kitten. Now that it's your turn, it's dun 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 dun. So apparently the one I ate was either a juicy pear or a booger. And I'm honestly not sure which it was. Real smart to put it off screen.
What is it, please? I sent you a memo. Mr. Zinfred has carte blanche to order anything you require. It is no concern of yours. Make out a check for Plum.
I see, she's going to enter her girl boss form.
Sue? Mary. Can I go to Mr. Raymond? Bill? Hey, listen. Gleason just got a bill for $2,300. Super. Enzyme extract.
Yes, we are making progress. There's great improvement in the tissue.
Why is it taking so long? It's the third week.
You forget, my dear, there's more to you than a little kitten, no? Besides, difference in metabolism.
Why not increase the dosage? Wouldn't that set up the price?
Patience, my dear, patience. Till Tread lightly, with care, Your Honor.
Must tread with care, your arm, please. God, the line read.
There. You know, I've been experimenting with a concentrated solution of the enzyme. Oh, a great deal more powerful than the solution of in your injection.
Oh?
Yes. And I think it will be better for lotions. An emollient lotion to make estrogenic creams and all such products old-fashioned. My dear, Starling will be world famous, bringing youth to millions.
You're right. Going to be a few red faces in my advertising department.
But I am right. Why, your own mirror will tell you that I'm right. Why, you look at least 5 years younger than you looked 3 weeks ago.
I know. We love a little corporate espionage.
Would you let me talk to Bill a minute, sir? Bill? I think I've got it. Yeah, I'm a nervous wreck. Lunch.
Speaking of nervous wrecks.
Very good at that technical stuff. Pseudo-technical. Mr. Dinthrop's a very capable, confident man from what I read in his letters. He claims he can stimulate the processes of rejuvenation through the use of enzymes extracted from wasps. Oh, perfect.
Well, what are you two Sherlocks going to do?
A wonderful, incredible miracle.
So worried about you. We really thought you were in danger.
For a second there, I saw the grab for the shoulders and I thought they were gonna kiss.
Silly, it seems ridiculous.
Beggars can't be choosers.
How old do I look? How old? How old do I look? Tell me. How old?
23, maybe 22.
That's how old I was when I started Janet Starlin Enterprises. Do you realize what that is? And back where I started, 18 years ago, with what it took 18 years to accomplish. It's like a dream.
Oh God, I still have the the aftertaste. Like that. It's not like plastic, but like, ugh. Whatever bandages are made out of. God. Ugh. Cat bee, cat bee, cat bee.
30 years ago, a bunch of quacks were treating people with monkey glands. Seemed to work for
Attack of cat bee.
deterioration.
Awful. Think that will happen to Jan?
I don't know. If I could just get inside of his lab, run a breakdown on what he's using.
Crispy cat bee. At least I think that's what that was. Nice talking with you. You see, there's science here, there's test tubes there, more science over there. Ah, there we go, the bees! Honestly, if he's a corporate figurehead, like, what would he know about, like, all the biological, biochemical howdy-do?
Mr. Zinthrop!
Another bean.
Mr. Zinthrop?
Hmm.
Mr. Zinthrop?
I think I got lucky this time. Yeah, buttered popcorn. Perfect. Excusez-moi.
I want you to find him, mister. I don't care what.
Oh my god,
We'll
that
find him,
cut.
Sooner or later, we find them all.
Time is vital, Mr. Hill. Every hour he's gone, it means more than you can possibly imagine.
Well, you haven't given me very much to go on. No home address, no former employer, no phone. This is just like starting from scratch.
Mr. Zintrop wasn't a conventional employee. He didn't go through regular personnel.
Uh-huh. You say he came here about a month ago. Well, how did he come here, Miss Starlin? He just didn't walk in off the street, did he?
The letter. Right here in my drawer.
Maybe, one of the other drawers.
So that's what she meant.
What who meant? Letter's been taken, and you think you know
My
who took
buzzy
it, is that right?
sense.
My secretary, Miss Jennings.
You got her address handy?
The phone number.
Might be better if I busted in on her cold. This way she'll have a chance to prepare a story.
I know what I'm doing.
All right.
Mary? Janice, darling.
Before I went to lunch, I made a duplicate copy of Mr. Vincent's letter. I was going to take that one to Bill and Mr. Cooper at first, but then I thought that the original would be better.
Have you got the copy?
Yes, it's in my desk.
Get that copy, Miss Dennison.
946 West 73rd Street, Manhattan. Yeah, that's right.
It's always such a quirky
Get right on it, Jerry, and
little
check back
quality
with
with a
me
lot of
anytime.
these old movies. Like, some of these scenes are just so pointlessly short. I'm only halfway through my jelly beans. And how much longer is the movie? Okay, about 2/3. Wait, what kind of place was that? I need to see that again. Oh my god, this soundtrack. It's gonna drive me insane. Open... Just an open bar? I was almost wondering if it was a gay bar. Because, like, the person through the window... Oh, I couldn't be sure. I hate this music! Like, Flight of the Bumblebee would have worked a lot better. And I think they would have been free to use it. It's so annoying! I was like, thank God, just please shut up!
Yeah. Oh. You're sure he's our boy? Uh-huh.
Is he?
Central emergency. right.
Next bean.
Well, it looks like we've got him. The John Doe down at Central Emergency. Auto.
Net spend?
No identification.
What
but he
even
was wearing
closed
a left
captions?
smock
What are
and
you
built in-
talking about?
Mary, get my coat and Len, get a cab downstairs.
Next bean.
Head injury, general contusions of the body.
There you go.
He's had a severe injury and there's definite brain damage. Just how much we can't tell as yet.
How long before you'll know?
It's hard to say, Miss John.
Who's the best man for this kind of injury?
Well, there's several top specialists.
Get the best.
I'm not sure what
Full
this is.
responsibility for the expense.
Yes, Miss Darling.
I don't know.
Oh, it's toasted marshmallow.
I think it best we wait.
It's been 3 days since the accident, Jack.
I taste it now.
No sign
That's
of
good.
improvement. He's still in a coma. You heard what the doctor said. He may never regain consciousness. And even if he does, who knows how badly his brain has been damaged.
Well, I'll give it another 48 hours. Doesn't regain consciousness by then. Well, you can take over the laboratory.
Janet.
Physician.
If this were current day, I would imagine, like, she wouldn't have to take nearly as much, like, heckling from her coworkers if she's the boss. Like,
Incredible. Right in front of our noses.
no, it was right under your noses. You knew nothing about it.
I could run a qualitative analysis.
Again, it's like, why does the white collar dude know anything about these procedures? Makes no sense. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh goodness. Could probably use a little bit of a makeover, honey. Never mind. You look great.
Phone always goes on a fritz right in the middle of a good program.
I was gonna say it. If he fucking gets axed. I was a teenage wasp woman.
Advertising campaign in the history of cosmetic advertising. Every newspaper and magazine in the country will be flooded with our new slogan. Return to youth with Janice Darling.
Excuse me, Miss Darling.
What is it, Thompson?
I think we should be a little conservative, Miss Darling. Cosmetics are one thing, medications another. We're liable to run into trouble.
Yes.
So I'm just fiddling around with the Bean Boozled 10.
It's a touchy business, you know. Max is right, Miss Darling.
Don't have to second the motion.
Speaking of which, I might need to speed up on these beans.
Janice Starlin Enterprise is going to bring the most fantastically saleable product ever developed by modern cosmetics to the public. And I don't intend to be restricted by timidity on the part of my own staff. Is that clear? Are you all right, Mr. Arlen? Just a little headache here. I'm fine.
Can I get you something?
I'm all right.
I have some medicine in my purse.
Sorry. That'll be all for now, Jack.
Hi.
Hi, sweetie.
Gee, I sure hope they give the girls working at Starlin first crack at that loose stuff. Imagine being 18 again.
I guess if it can take 15 years off Starlin,
Okay, bean time.
take 10 off you.
What do you mean, 10?
Ah!
Honey. This is Maureen you're talking.
No!
Yeah? Well, if I were you, I'd take a double dose. Then make sure he's on television.
So who says he looks at it?
No, I got old bandage again.
Free guess.
Say, did Cooper come in yet?
Missed the board meeting this morning. I bet Starlin's having a fit. He should wear it.
I knew I didn't want it to be the last one I ate. In case it was. Glad to see I made a good call.
You know where, Miss Starlin's office is?
Suite number 1.
La-dee-da, the Duchess of Flatbush herself.
How'd you like to have this phone wrapped around your ear, wise guy?
It's more like it, sister.
I'd wrap it around his neck.
Suite number 1.
God, that's gross.
Is there anything I can do? Yes. Is Mr. Sinford's room ready?
Uh-huh. The nurse is fixing the emergency equipment
Thankfully,
now.
I had some water
Nothing to
left.
do any minute.
Be sure to let me know when it arrives. Oh, Mary, please, before you go, could you see if you could work that thing?
That thing.
Philosophy.
Simple enough. That'll be all, Mary. Thank you. We've had a room specially made over for you, Mr. Vincent, and Miss Warren has a room adjoining yours, so there'll be someone near you at all times.
Thank you.
When you're feeling better, Mr. Vincent, there are...
I can't even tell if, like, he walked into traffic on accident. Thinking back on that scene.
We'll do everything we can to make you comfortable, Mr. Vincent. I'm going to spend the night here in my office. So if anything develops, I'll be at hand.
Thank you.
All nice and cozy. In the honeycomb.
Only there's something. Something important. But cannot do that.
I'm sure it can work. Right now, the main thing is to get you back to health. Take good care of it, Miss Warren.
Sure is funny about old Coop.
This is one day of work and you're ready to call Mr. Percy.
Well, he's a pretty conscientious guy, honey, if he got sick or something. Called in?
We'd be in bright and chipper in the morning.
Interrupting something?
Oh, we were just having a little coffee clutch, Miss Starlin. We were talking about Mr. Cooper.
What about Mr. Cooper?
Well, about his missing the meeting this morning. Nobody's been able to reach him all day.
I wouldn't worry about that. Mr. Cooper's been here a long time.
Gurgle.
Probably spent some time starting to take a daydream shot now.
Gurgle, gurgle.
That's what I've been trying to tell Mr. Lane.
Oh, by the way, Miss Starlin, how is Mr. Winthrop?
Oh, fine. A few days we'll start the layout of the campaign.
Oh, I'm ready when you are, boss.
Bill.
She likes it when you call her boss.
Something silly. I just wanted to know that I'm an eager member of the team.
Gino is too.
Who is this rando? He's just a guy. Hi, baby! Watch an old Wasp movie.
What? What's that? What?
I'm back now. Just had a bad dream. Lie down now.
It's a room full of wasps. Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Like a nightmare.
Bad dream.
Okay. New jelly bean. Later. Okay, have fun.
Things to think about than worrying whether the night watchman won't help the job.
Well, that's just it, Miss Darling. Mr. Green,
Ugh.
the watchman never left.
Ugh.
His lunch pail and his raincoat are still in the basement.
Okay. Yeah, that was a booger. That one was booger flavor.
Will you
Ugh. Not as bad as old bandage,
Where
but
she heard a scream from one of the other floors. Winthrop heard it too, but she convinced him he was having a bad dream.
Oh, maybe they both were.
It's not funny anymore, Mary. There's something going on in that building. I'm going to find out what it is. Have a look around Cooper's lab, for one thing. After that, I don't know.
Hold it steady. Bill, this is crazy. You can really get in trouble.
I won't talk about it, but it is important. All right, Miss Darling, I'll be a man. Winthrop, you've got to help me. Something's happening. Something's happening to me. I can't control it.
There's something I must remember, but I can't.
Try to think. The Rock Center. The extracts you were experimenting with before the accident. Try to think.
Winthrop's notebook, Mary. Well, some of his experiments with Jim.
Well, how did Cooper get hold of it?
Only Coop would show up. Mary, look.
Cooper's pipe.
Coop came and then he flew the coop.
Somebody's left pipe behind. He's still somewhere in the building. I bet a year's salary. He's dead. And the night watchman.
There's only enough left for one more injection.
Great acting.
I've got to make more of them. Help me.
Great reaction.
Where's my head? Oh, my head.
Help me!
Oh, what?
Help me!
That might have been a little hot.
Is he asleep?
I don't know.
No, don't touch him.
If anybody knows what's behind all this, it's him.
God, this editing. Okay, I like the idea of the little buzzes, like, being incorporated right into the soundtrack. I'm not sure I would call that clever, but I like it. Next bean.
Coat, purse, and everything else is still in there. Wouldn't go out without her purse.
Oh, get out of here. I don't like it.
Toasted marshmallow again. Nice.
Boy.
Well, there's nothing to be alarmed about, Senator. I'm Bill Ling, and this is Miss Dennison, Miss Starlin's secretary. What about a cat?
Must warn her. Injections. Must not take any more injections.
Is Miss Darling in danger?
Terrible danger. I must...
Take it easy, Mr. Simpson. You're still pretty weak. Mary, see if you can get Jan on the phone.
All right.
No answer.
Oh, Miss Darling? Is that you, Mary?
We're in the building. Something's happened down
Here,
here.
let me talk to her. Hello, Miss Starlin. This is Lane.
Why are you and Mary still in the building?
I myself...
Don't let it out, Mary.
I myself... I must not
I
hold
can't
me
explain
back.
now, Miss Starlin.
I must go.
This man's on a mission.
You must not hold me back.
Mr. Vincent, we won't let anything happen to Miss Darling.
What's going on down there?
Stay in your office. I'll be right up. Keep an eye on Zimper, honey. I'm going upstairs.
I know. The insect. The insect.
Take it easy, Mr. Zimper.
You do not understand. Miss Darling, she's in danger. I must warn.
Look, I'll have to stay here. You go for Jan. When you get up there, call the police. You can't get outside on this phone.
All right, I'll hurry.
Not the police. No, not the police.
The man slurs his speech so much now, I'm not even sure if he has a noticeable accent anymore.
What is it, Mary?
Please, will you please call the police? What for? Look, I don't have time to...
Mary!
Eek!
I'm sorry I had to do that. There's no time for hysteria. Now, what is this?
They're going crazy.
Sure, Mr. Zimper. Now, you just relax and take it easy. Everything will be all right. We'll take care of those...
You do not understand. You do not understand that girl. You shouldn't have sent her upstairs. She's in danger. You must stop her before it is too late.
Okay, as soon as the cops get here, we'll take
Oh, you fool, you fool. Miss Darling will kill her and tear her body to shreds.
Stalin, kill Mary.
Miss Darling is not a human being any longer. The enzymes have changed her. She will destroy the girl as a female wasp would destroy her enemies, and then devour the remains.
Then Bill
And then he died.
Cooper's dead. There's no mistake. We've got to call the police now.
Now, Mary, you're just getting...
And this, Lily Pals, is the final jelly bean.
Mr. Cooper.
It's one I haven't tried yet.
It's not only Mr. Cooper. What about...
I told you we were correct. Mary. I go with you.
I can't wait. I'm going to take a stairs.
Oh, look. Laboratory. She's going to laboratory.
Up the stairs fast.
Okay. So the bean I just had was dirty dishwasher. Yes, Queen, slay! Couldn't she just like her way off into the night sky? Or not. Well, alright then. My favorite parts were the secretary girlfriends. Whoop! Nope. Nope, none of that. We're good now. Huh. That was fun. Nothing groundbreaking, but I mean, what else would you expect from a movie that, you know, hit release in 1959? And ultimately, the grand conflict was spurred by capitalism. If it weren't for capitalism, none of this would have happened. Yeah, honestly, like... Oh, shoot. Yeah, honestly, I think they did a pretty good job as far as, like, the actual monster look. Like, the monster wasp woman face. Like, it actually looks properly grotesque, but, like, if I had to have a say in some of the design choices, like, I could have made it look a little more true to form, I think. Like, really the only issue is the face. And even then, like, It did what it was supposed to do, but... Ah! Jort! Jort, gobble! Hello, raiders! Cowblin raid! I love my cowblins. And you came at kind of an inopportune time. We just finished the movie. Hello, raiders. We were just watching The Wasp Woman. It was a public domain sci-fi horror 50s movie. Thank you, the Fool 44, for becoming a Lily Pal. God, bad timing has bad timing. Oh no. I know. But no worries. No worries. There's always the VOD. There's always the... Somebody's support. Aww, thank you. Yeah, I reckoned that, like, this movie probably wouldn't be long enough for a full, like, typical stream. So I know I had, like, maybe, like, 1 or 2 ideas of, like, just how to, like, artificially extend the stream time. Hello, Blue Hope Cape. Thank you for becoming a Lily Pal. Goblin Raid, Goblin Raid. Anyway, yeah, the message of the movie is don't inject wasp queen enzymes into your blood. It will, unless you want to be a wasp woman. And also it was all capitalism's fault. Yeah, so I guess, like, even if y'all might have missed out on the movie, I do have, like, a couple of things I had in store just to stretch out stream time a little bit longer. But first, I need another glass of water. Let's see. How many of those jelly beans were actually bad? I ate a package of Bean Boozled jelly beans through the movie for content. And there were 8 of them, and I think only like 3 of them were actually good. So it's not even like a perfect, like, halfway split between good or bad. And that is ghastly. Anyway, I'm quickly gonna get some more water. Y'all, Raiders and Lily Pals, sit tight, because I got something for y'all. So, don't go away. long screen. But now I'm back with my water. And thank you, Jort, for the hydrate. I'm gonna take my meds, too. There goes the first. Okay. So what I have in store. So I remember mentioning in my last Dorfort stream, there was something alongside the game that I wanted to share with you, my lily pals, and I forgot. And then I was like, remind me to do it next stream. And then the next stream happened, and then I forgot again. But I'm not gonna forget this time. I have it up. I have it up. Okay. So, I have a short little story that I would like to read y'all. Read to all of you. It is based on Dwarf Fortress. It's not like perfectly taken from the game, but it, you know, it's very much like the same aesthetics. But this little story is special because, you know, normally this, normally when you look up Dwarf Fortress stories, you know, it's usually accounts of things that have happened in the game. But it's also known that, that, like, the creators of Dwarf Fortress, Tarn and Zach Adams, well, particularly Zach, if you look on their website for Bay 12 Games, you'll notice like there's a tab called Three Toes Stories, Three Toes Short Stories. Those are all written by Three Toe, or Zach, and again, it's like a lot of the stories are not so much based on any actual gameplay or like in-game lore, but they very much bear like the Dwarf Fortress stylization. Like they're short stories that have Dwarf Fortress texturing. Let's put it that way. And the thing is, you'll notice that, you know, if you click on that tab, you'll notice that the last story was uploaded in 2018. And, you know, usually these stories are not so common anymore. Probably because, like, Zach is far too busy helping Tarn work on the game and stuff. But, you know, it's all well and good. Well, I got a surprise for you, Lily Pals. I got a story for you from Zach himself that you will not find in that tab. Because this story was written as per request. Because there was a time where if you donated money to, you know, to the brothers, to Bay 12 Games, you know, you would get a page in, like, their thanked patrons. It's not Patreon, but, like, you know, it's a web page, you know, that puts down all the all the donors and stuff. But there was a time where after you donated, you were given a choice. You were given a choice where the brothers would either give you a crayon drawing and mail it to you personally, or you get a 3-toe story. Totally original. Well, the one time I managed to donate a little sum of cash, like, it was during a bit of a rush, because, you know, nowadays the brothers are so busy on the game, like, what's the word, like, the backlog, the backlog of donations has gotten so crazy and stuff, along with game development and everything, that, you know, basically they're not providing those donation rewards anymore. So this story I managed to get, you know, when they were, like, doing the last stretch, like, when they were just wrapping up. And I'm really happy to have it in my possession. You will find this story nowhere else. And now, Lily Pals, I am going to read it to you. It's not very long, but it is genuine. A genuine 3-toe story, and a genuine 3-toe story, yeah. It doesn't have a title, but it starts off like this. She was the most beautiful dwarf in the world. Eliza had only seen her from afar, but the young squire knew from that moment that they would be together. Eliza's knight noticed her attention was on the pretty noble instead of her duties and chided her to pay attention. The joust was about to begin, and the nobles filed up into the platform built into the mountainside overlooking the track. Eliza strapped her knight onto the mountain goat and handed her her lance, all the while stealing gazes at the platform. "If only I were a knight," muttered Eliza under her breath. The knight shot Eliza a furious glance before she slammed her visor closed and prepared to charge. Eliza wasn't looking at all. As the king dropped his handkerchief, all the young squire could see was the face of her beloved. It seemed that just as their eyes met, there was a booming, crashing noise. Eliza looked back at the track just in time to see her knight thrown from her goat by the visiting goblin champion. "Sword!" cried Eliza's knight. "Eliza, sword!" Grabbing up the weapon, Eliza ran to her mistress. The goblin had already dismounted. His kobold squire had already passed him his barbed metal club. Before Eliza could reach her, the goblin knight smashed his club into the dwarf champion's helmet, knocking her senseless. A gasp went up from the platform. It was an unmitigated disaster. The costly wars between the two kingdoms had been avoided through clever diplomacy. Instead of spilling the blood of so many young people, the differences between the two countries were decided on the jousting track. Now that the dwarf champion had been defeated, the king would have to give his daughter up as a hostage. "Is there no one who will fight for the princess?" asked the king. It was her one and only chance. Eliza lifted up her knight's sword. "I will ride for her." "Is there any knight that will do it?" snapped the king. There was silence, save for the clacking of the goblin's beak dog's jaws. Real quick, a beak dog is basically what you get when you have like a two-legged flightless parrot and you can ride it. It's an original Dwarf Fortress creation. Another squire fixed a breastplate and helmet to Eliza's body and helped her onto the mountain goat. Across the track, the goblin sat astride his monstrous mount, swinging a flail over his head. Eliza called for a lance. She took one last look at the princess. There was a tear in the royal dwarf's eye. Eliza said a prayer to Nadir and slapped her visor closed. The goblin came on fast after the king dropped his gilded cloth. Eliza slapped her goat on the flank and it began to charge. As the two riders passed each other, Eliza ducked under the goblin's spiked ball just in time. She circled around for another charge, but saw that the goblin had fallen from his beaked dog, having taken a lance to the shriveled black heart. "You have fought well for your country," said the king. "I fight for the princess alone," said Eliza. The king scoffed at first, but when he saw his daughter run toward her champion, he knew that their love was true. The end. Thanks again, Tarn and Zach. Woo! Dwarf story! But that's not just where I want to stop it just yet. There's actually another little Dwarf Fort story I have, but like, obviously this little short story is really meaningful to me because girls. Yeah, when I know, like, for every patron they contacted, like, through email. So when they sent me an email like, hey, would you like a drawing or would you like a story? And, you know, I was like, you know, I'd like a story. And, like, I had it planned out, like, could it just be a story about about two women dwarves in love? And that's what I got. He did not fail to deliver, and I am super happy for it. And again, you won't find this story anywhere else. Not unless I decide to post it somewhere, but I have, like, no foreseeable reason to do so. You know, the best I can see is, like, I would share it between friends. I know I shared it with my wife, because obviously. But okay. That was a little three-toe short story. But there's another thing I want to read. This one you actually can find online, because I have posted it. But this time it's a story that actually comes from the game proper. And it's a fascinating little tale that I managed to weave. And, you know, one of these days, I'm just hoping I come across something in the game, whether it's through Fortress mode, Adventure mode, Legends mode. Like, I'm hoping that I'll be able to write a story like this again sometime in the future. But anyway, this is a story that comes from Legends mode. If y'all are unaware, Legends mode is basically Dwarf Fortress's, like, catalog for a particular world, and all of its history and its historical figures and events. You know, like, there's a world map, there's, you know, like, there's landmarks and famous events and artifacts and art and yada yada yada. So I can't remember how long ago it was that I wrote this story, But I know, like, every once in a while, I just like to peruse Legends mode just to see if there's anything particularly interesting that I can find. And this one was very interesting in just the manner of, like, the sequence of events. Alright, so this is a little tale, a little story that is simply referred to as the Tale of Spepip Bearded Dresses. In the world of Shah Thron, the dimension of dawning, there lived a human. She was born before time, and by the dawn of the first year, she had grown to be a woman. Her name was Spepip Bearded Dresses. She lived a simple life in the hamlet of Copper Rains before gaining the attention of one Arrow-handled Combats. The two had grown very fond of each other and married the next year. And then they set to make their lives their own in the town of Seardrax. After they moved, Spepip began work in the Harvest of Garnish, a local tavern. And whether it was with charming words or skilled brewing or a delicate but graceful blend of the two, she had earned ownership of that very tavern. She and Arrow had 12 entire children, but with how she treated every regular to the bar, she made a family of everyone. Everyone that passed by into those doors and left again, given the heartiest of hellos and goodbyes, etc., etc. The following year after, word had spread of her ability to bring unity to others, and of her deep warmth and friendliness. These rumors flew towards the ears of the Soapy Chapel, home of the Sugary Coven. As if by fate, she had attracted the attention of the ears of none other than Rapheb Hopbuckled, the goddess of families. The priests had come with a proposal, a well-deserved spot amongst their council. She graciously accepted, being an ardent believer of Rapheb herself. Her devotion had, in truth, been underestimated at that time. Later that very year, she had been given the highest title of the Soapy Chapel, the Sacred Mule. And she was now a person of great renown to the Nation of Waves, the human Nation of Waves. She wouldn't have been the only one either. 5 years had passed, and with a push of popular support, her own husband, Arrow, had been given the title of General. The both of them became well-loved across all of their people. However, the story yet unfolds. In the year 13, the Nation of Waves had decreed that an annual winter festival would befit their prosperity. The celebration was named the Soapy Festivals, headed by the Sugary Coven themselves each year. The festivals would include the throwing of warhammers and foot races, or one of the two if both were not possible. Being a sporty woman who loves good, solid competition, Spepip volunteered to participate in these games each year. The first two festivals, she saw loss, but it was the third that would begin to mean much for her. With the third Soapy Festival arrived a man named On Begin Outrage, when Spepip first became acquainted with him, she kept her warmth and good sportsmanship. However, An proved to be gifted by the gods for his athleticism and would win each competition every year. It would eventually turn to the year 25, and disheartened by constant loss, Spepip would pray to Refeb for her blessing. Afterwards, she saw victory in the games that year. In high spirits, riding on the high spirits of the very year, she failed to pray the following year, in which case An once again took the championship. She made sure to pray again in the following year, and though she won again, Refeb had grown disappointed in Spepip's gradual loss of devotion. As such, she would bless her disciple no longer. And this would show as the years went on, as Spepip continued to compete in the soapy festivals each year, and An continued to win the championship with only very few exceptions. Seeing her rival win each and every year, Spepip grew bitter and jealous. In the year 38, following another loss, Spepip lashed out with resentment. She was growing older and weaker, while it seemed An had not aged a single day. In her rage, she only wished that her own age would weaken her no longer. Then she began to blame Refeb for turning her away, and in her tantrum had committed blasphemy within her soapy chapel. Rightly offended at the sacred mule's conduct, Refeb had granted Spepip's wish in the form of a curse. She commanded Spepip's teeth to grow longer, sharper, her skin to pale, and her throat to thirst for blood. Spepip became a creature of the night for her insolence. However, she would not allow this turn of events to discourage her from competing further. Spepip would continue participating in the games each year, with no one wiser to her curse. However, she would still, regardless, continue losing to An. She saw him grow older as she stayed static, but he was nonetheless a prime athlete. She realized now, even in her state, she would never best him. The next best thing for her was to watch him wither away year after year. She would relish to see the day that he grew too weak for sports in the festival. With each passing year, she continued to hope and had all the time in the world to wait. But even in her immortal state, things were to happen she would yet be blind to. It was now all the way to the year 50, and An continued to live. Spepip remained patient for the approaching festival and for An's health to fail. However, unpredicted by anyone in Seardrax, the town was attacked by the loathsome Rufithi Bonefates, a wicked ogre known across the land as the Skull of Dusk. In his assault, he laid eyes on our Spepip, the vampire, and he took an intimate interest. With no effort, he kidnapped her, with guards and family absolutely helpless to stop him. And this would be the last that anyone would see or hear from Spepip ever since. Many years passed, up until the world cycled to its 121st year. One day, in early spring, a dwarf by the name of Ingish Greatgem had traveled far into the wilderness, seeking out a spot of treasure. He had heard rumors of one place called Cavern Skull, the very lair of the wicked ogre, Rufithi Bonefates, and grew curious to the riches that may await there. He awaited until Rufithi departed for his next hunt, and searched within the crude dirt mound lair. To his surprise, a creature lunged forth from the darkness within, even more ugly and terrible somehow than Rufithi himself. She appeared alike Rufithi, and yet was different, particularly with longer, dagger-sharp fangs. Ingish had fortunately not come unprepared, and proved a match for the wicked ogre. He would rip her arm apart, and managed to escape from Cavern Skull with his life. He returned to his hillock to recount the story. From the listening ears of dwarf, human, and elf, it is largely agreed of the identity of this newly discovered monster. This would be Spepip Bearded Dresses, the wicked ogre vampire. Some would gather from this tale that it's what she deserves, allowing her heart to blacken with envy, resentment, and bitterness. Her form now befits her nature, if not worse. But there is only one truth, yet, that all can take from this story. Now we know why we fear the night. The end. Yeah, those a couple of dwarfy stories for y'all lily pals. What'd you think? A secret three-tone story of lesbian dwarfs, and the story of a very particularly unique individual amidst my venturing within the game's Legends mode. For the record, in the game, so you have two different types of creatures. You got vampires, and you got night trolls. They are both considered creatures of the night, but obviously they're not the same thing. Vampires, as you can guess, they're bloodthirsty undead with particularly alluring charm. Whereas night trolls are basically just big, ugly monsters that abduct and convert like your average citizens into mates, spouses for themselves, so they can reproduce and cause more chaos across the world. And they are very strong, kind of on the dumb side, but not like animal dumb. But yeah, they're strong, they're resilient, and they're generally kind of a pain in the ass to deal with. Thankfully, they're not really a big deal outside of adventure mode. And for the record, the encounter with English, that was a part that was instigated by an adventure mode playthrough. I played as English. In which case, like, I ventured into into Cavern Skull, the night troll lair, and, you know, to my surprise, I saw Spepip, and, you know, we fought for a little bit, and I was like, wait a second, because you see, you know, the exact methodology of how one becomes a vampire or a night troll in Dwarf Fortress are entirely separate. Obviously, a vampire, one of the ways you turn into a vampire is you commit blasphemy against the gods. It works a little different nowadays, but in the past, like, you could go to a shrine in, like, a human town, and then all you had to do was knock over a statue, and you would be cursed. Granted, you could also be cursed as a werebeast. So, it was a 50-50 chance whether you would get werebeast or vampire. But, you know, and then anyway, like I said, like, the only way you become a night troll is, like, through Legends mode. Like, you can't... The adventurers, the characters you actually play, like, they won't ever be turned into night trolls. You know, it all happens within the world generation, sadly. However, you know, after playing as English and encountering Spepip and fighting her for a little bit, it's like, at some point I noticed, like, wait a minute. A wicked ogre vampire? Like, how did that happen? And then, you know, I looked back in Legends mode and it's like, oh, okay, she blasphemed against a god, got cursed, and then a night troll kidnapped her and converted her into a wicked ogre. And so now she's a wicked ogre vampire. And it's like, you don't come across instances of stuff like that very often. So it's like you have to archive it in any fashion you can. Like, it's a testament to how you can play Dwarf Fortress for years and keep discovering new, unique things about the games that you would never have seen before. And so that was the tale of Spepip. And once again, I hope y'all enjoyed those Dwarfy stories. I'm tempted to do a more, like, Dwarf Fortress story reading streams in the future, because, like, this is just like a world gen story, and it's just like one instance. Like, there are so many significantly crazier stories from Dwarf Fortress. Like, y'all have no idea. Like, I mean, the one that stands above them all, the one that's basically like the archetype of the insane, chaotic Dwarf Fortress story is the story of Boat Murdered. So, like, that's required reading. and it's... oh boy, it's a trip. I can't wait to read that eventually, though. Anyhow, Lily Pals, that was the double feature stream for tonight. The Wasp Woman and a couple of stories from one game of Fortresses of Dwarves. So I hope that for anyone who lurks or chatted or stopped by, very much appreciated, or followed, you know, I love all my Lily Pals coming by and supporting me any way they can. I love. Yeah, I feel like tonight was like a pretty ideal night for just like sitting back and just like doing something chill that wasn't game related. I just didn't feel like playing a game tonight. Hopefully, I can do more like watch party streams too. I know there's only like a select, and I emphasize select, group of movies that are public domain. But it's like I'm semi passionate about works that are within the public domain. It's something I really like looking into and, you know, consuming in any portion of my time. You know, and I wish to share some of that passion with my Lily Pals, because, you know, it's only just recently that more works are starting to be included into the public domain again. And, you know, it seems unlikely that, you know, as far as like copyright legislation is concerned, it seems like that's going to be the trend for the upcoming years. I can't wait. I can't wait for more. Yeah, it's like movies, cartoons, books, music, art. So much to check out. And again, I hope that some of my Lily Pals can share in my little passions for public domain works, because it's definitely worth looking into. The past can provide so much, and copyright legislation in general is fucking evil, so yeah, no, it's my general attitude, you know, media for the entire public, you know, free to use for anyone, anything. It's like I really jive with that concept. Anyway, I'm rambling. Why don't we find a Lily Pal to raid, huh? So, raid message for subs and for the anti-subs. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's right there. Who is live right now? Who be live? Come to think of it, I could also do like more watch parties of just like regular ass movies that are copyrighted. I just can't show or like play audio from them. But it's like I like to closely engage, you know, and closely consume directly, along with my lily pals. I think in keeping with the spirit of watching things with streamers, we are going to raid Ellie, who it looks like they're watching some kitchen nightmares. That'll be a nice drop-off point. Okay, so VTLED. They are a fellow member of Moonlight Yakuza. And I like hanging out with them whenever I can. Should probably strive to hang out with them more. Anyway, watching Kitchen Nightmares along with the Ellie, the cat girl, the Moonlight Yakuza cat girl. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you, bye-bye, Blue Hope. Hope y'all have a good night. I care all my lily pals so much. How was the movie? I'll tell you, after the raid. I will, explain. Anyway, we are reading Ellie. I'm planning on streaming either Wednesday or Friday. I think I'm more inclined for Wednesday. It might be World Building Wednesday. I'm not sure. I haven't decided just yet. But, you know, look forward to that, Lily Pals. I'll see you next time. Thank you all so much for coming. Oh, yeah, swimming!